I'm speaking to activist and writer Ali Abunimah, and he's from Chicago, and there's a breaking news story about a Chicago Palestinian-American woman who was arrested, Rasmia Odeh. Can you tell us something about what has gone on?
Well, this happened just in the past few days. Rasmia Odeh, who is a well-known and well-loved member of the community, was arrested on immigration charges relating to a 20-year-old citizenship application where the government is alleging she concealed information regarding her previous activities in Palestine. She had spent many years as a prisoner of the Israelis and was released, and so they are, as far as I know, alleging that she concealed information about that. Now, I don't want to get into that legal aspect of it, but what I can say is that Rasmia is somebody who has very strong roots in the community, very strong support in the community, and in the past few days since this happened, it's been really heartening to see the number of people and the number of organizations, not just Palestinian American organizations, but civil rights organizations and social justice organizations expressing support. Because I think for those of us who have been watching these kinds of prosecutions over the years, it's very clear that this is politically motivated. And one lesson we've learned, particularly since September 11th, is that it's really important not to be intimidated when the government does this to somebody in your community. It's really important to break the silence and rally around them, to remember that when the government accuses somebody, it's an accusation, and people still have the presumption of innocence. They still have a right to defend themselves. It's a very isolating experience for many people in our community who've been through this in the past, where all of a sudden people back away from them because they're scared, this could be me next. And so I think that hopefully we've learned that lesson, and there'll be strong support for Rasmia as a member of the community who deserves that support.
Now, it does seem to be an odd investigation of the Stop FBI group, who themselves have had their homes searched 3 years ago now without any kind of indictment. They're saying it's somehow connected to them. I don't know if that's true, but it is odd. One would not think the FBI is just routinely combing over 20-year-old immigration records to see if anybody made a mistake.
Right, and so there is that background in Chicago that 3 years ago the government raided a number of homes of anti-war activists, labor activists, and Palestine solidarity activists. They also called a number of people to a grand jury. As far as I know, nobody went to the grand jury. And so what that looks like an effort to chill political activity, to chill solidarity work, and also a fishing expedition to just go after, to cast this broad net and to see what's out there. And so, as you said, 3 years later, there have been no indictments after those initial raids and subpoenas 3 years ago. But people live with that. It's hanging over their heads the whole time. And so there is a sense that yes, the government is really going after people in the community and trying to make political cases. And so I think that explains partly why there has been such a strong reaction to the arrest of Rasmia Odeh.
Now this gets into the legal aspects, and you don't have to comment, but just sort of my reflection. I read the indictment, and it says that she served time in an Israeli prison for being involved in a bombing that someone was killed. And I mean, that's quite serious if it was true, but some other things sort of came to my mind, which is the almost 100% record of Israel getting convictions, and the use of torture that's routine over there, and also the fact that we don't understand the concept of amnesty in this country. I mean, in many countries, the people understand there was a political conflict, there was violence, sometimes horrible violence on both sides, but as a way to settle it, both sides, sort of forgive or let people free. And I mean, she was let out of prison in a prisoner deal, as far as I understand.
Well, there's a couple of things to say again without getting into all the legal aspects, but you're right. Palestinians who are convicted in most often in military courts where there is no due process in Israel. But even, her conviction, as you said, she was released as part of a prisoner exchange. When those releases take place, when Israel releases Palestinian prisoners, as it did just a few months ago, when it releases prisoners, as it did just a few months ago, those prisoners are actually pardoned by the President of Israel. So I assume, not knowing the specifics of her case, that if she was released as part of an exchange, she would have received an official pardon from Israel.
All right. Well, I'm sure we will learn more about this case in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking.
You're welcome.